You know what amazes me about, any kind of fandom out there, especially nowadays, is how artistically far they are willing to go, with their, I guess you could say, the representation of their fandom. Especially when it's, regards going into areas you wouldn't think they would go into in the first place. Mostly the very adult, Rule 34, erotic, triple X, lesbian, yaoi, whatever you want to call it, area. And it just amazes me that you can go online to places like Rule 34 or PH. We all know what PH is. I'm not going to say it right away. Or XV videos in places like that. Heck, even VENMO and Daily Motion to an extent. House these as well. Even YouTube, surprisingly, you know, unbeknownst to them, because there's like millions and billions and trillions of videos on YouTube, that unsurprisingly, there is some content out there, you know, that is close to what you see on those other sites, if not exactly. But still, be that as it may, it really just surprises me how far people go. I mean, people, these animations that they do is just unreal, and they actually go all out with them too. They really do. It's not just a silent animation with no music or vocals to it, or a little bit of a mini story, to it. It's not just those kind of animations, and it's not the kind of animations that go for 15 to 10 minutes. Or not 15 to 10 minutes, I should say 15 to 10 seconds, I should say. It's not those kind of animations that just go 15 to 10 seconds, because they actually exceed to 15 to 10 minutes, or 10 minutes to 15 minutes, believe it or not. Yeah, there are those kind of animations out there. Some go about 3 or 4 minutes, and they have a little bit of a story in it. But when you place it all together, it's just really flabbergasting. It really is. It really is flabbergasting to know that if you look at the MLP fan base, there is animations, SFM, 3D, CGI animations out there of the main 7 characters of Friendship is Magic. Some of the new Make Your Mark, Tell Your Tale, new generation characters, getting it on in a very erotic, triple X, kind of manner. That you would find at places at Rule 30, like Rule 34 and Newgrounds and, PH and X videos and so on. And like I said, even Vimeo, Daily Motion to an extent, and even YouTube to a lesser extent as well. You'll find them there. And it's amazing, like I said, how far people go with these and, how much time and dedication they do, or they commit to this, I should say. It's really amazing. It just blows my mind. I mean, for example, let's say you're a fan of the Sonic franchise, the overall Sonic franchise. I mean, the character of Lanolin, you know, was recently introduced as I guess you could say, a supporting character, a supporting character, if you will, co-character, whatever, in IDW comics, or in the IDW Sonic comics. It's just part of the Diamond Cutters, the new Diamond Cutters with Whisper and Tangle, and they already have animations of her in erotic situations with Whisper and Tangle, with Sonic, with Knuckles, with Shadow, you name it. It's just, it's just really amazing to see how quickly a lot of fans are able to take that design of that character and place it into that kind of an environment in an animation kind of manner. But it's not just that either. I mean, there's, like I said, there are animations that go for almost 2 minutes. Like, one of them has, from the Sonic franchise, Tails and Sally. And there's actually a couple of them. One is just a straight up, Tails and Sally getting it on kind of deal, to where you could tell it's kind of like an alternate universe kind of deal. You know, with the characters, because basically Tails is statuesque, basically same size as Sally, and it looks like they're together, they're an item. And going back to what I said of how much detail and how much creativity you get with these, here you get sound and music. And not only do you get sound and music, but you actually get, I guess you could say, the sound of the climax occurring, between Tails and Sally. But that's not all. You also have another one that the animation, it looks like the kind of animation taken from Jay Thornton, if you will. It looks like it's animation inspired by Jay Thornton and what he does. I think that's his name. Jay Thornton Cartoons, and what he does. And, because he's the one that does those little animations or 3D models that you can get at Steam and everything. Well, this one between Sally and Tails looks more in line with that. And it has dialogue and everything. And it kind of has a story. Because what it looks like here is you have Tails and Sally getting it on. And they're getting it on in a, cheating kind of way. Like, they're not really an item, but they like each other's company when it comes to doing the thing. And what happens is, while they're in the process of doing the thing, they get interrupted by Amy, and Sally has to kind of, kind of say something to get Amy to leave. Well, because Tails is still in the process, literally, of, doing the thing with Sally. He's literally still connected, merged, if you will, with Sally. And, that's just a good example, like I said, of how far how far fans are willing to go. That's a good example in itself. I mean, it just blows my mind, how far, fandoms of any kind, from Sonic to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, to Danny Phantom, a few to animes of all kinds and all that. It shows you how far they're willing to go with these styles. It really does. I mean, going back to MLP, they have certain scenarios to where characters will do the CV portion of what's known as vor. It's a fetish of the fetish known as vor, and they will do the CV version of it. In fact, you have an animation out there that's been around for like a year, a couple years, where you have the Cutie Mark Crusaders grown up doing the CV, and the one that's basically on the receiving end of the CV, basically the one that's going to contain them within her, is Scootaloo. And the ones that are willingly, allowing Scootaloo to contain them in this manner is Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. And the end result is not only them, going inside, CVing, if you will, into Scootaloo, but they get melted down to the point that the end result is on each side, of Scootaloo's bottom region, if you will. You see the cutie marks of both Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom appear. It's again, it just blows, and the animation in that is so good. It really is. The animation in that is so good. I mean, you even have people with original content that, put the effort out to do these kind of things. They do. One person called Tubula, I think it's Tubula, I'm not really sure. They do animations of original characters. One character is a female with male parts, if you know what I mean, at the bottom. And the one thing about her that, makes her the main character and, has her get it. Sorry about that. But like I say, the one thing about her that makes her the main character and makes her, get it on with other characters that are female and that are female and have male parts at the bottom as well, is her tongue. Her tongue can go really deep, if you know what I mean. If you catch my joke, it can go really deep because it's really long. And there's always, a lot of the videos from Dubala's account, whether it's Newgrounds, Rule 34, wherever, every short has her displaying that. Even recently, recently, if you will, in the past few months. That's one of the driving points of every short that he puts up there. And what's interesting is these females that have the male parts, if you will, at the bottom. What's interesting is they have a name for them, and the name is Futa, Futa. I guess that's what it is, Futa, Futa or something like that. And I guess it's a way to distinguish, hey, the female through and through, they just, have that male portion of them that, if they get together with another female, that's all female, no male parts included, that storyline-wise, the one with the male parts can help make the all-female one, make their dreams come true, if you know what I mean, when it comes to when it comes to having a family. But yeah, you have people like Tubalin that do that, and then again you go back and you look at all these fan animations, as well. It's just amazing. It's just amazing to see how far fans go. And it's not just with the animations. Sometimes the animations are, the SFM animations, if you will. Sometimes they're just utilized, from a model perspective for like little web comics that you would see on places like Ink Bunny or Furfiniat or even DeviantArt if it's allowed. I mean, there's one where you have there's one there's one little comic that somebody made at Ink Bunny where Tails and his mom Rosemary Prowl from the Archie Comics, have this morning routine of always getting it on, and even to the point that Tails might miss school, and the end result is Rosemary getting pregnant. And then from a 2D animation standpoint, you have Rosemary and Tails, together. There's one animation out there by somebody, I can't pronounce their name right now, but it's literally Rosemary, it's literally Tails and Rosemary on a couch, and Tails is leaning back where Rosemary is, kind of giving him a little pleasure down below. And everything. And again, and I know I'm repeating myself, but again, you see that and you're like, man, fans really must really love these characters and this franchise so much that they are willing to take their time and effort to put them into situations that, let's be honest, in reality, none of this would ever happen. We know that. In reality, none of this would occur. And you know why? Because I think I've mentioned this before. If it was to occur, a lot of the licensees would basically get at these studios and they would say, we are breaking up with you. We are ending our partnership. We're going to go to someplace else because basically you ruined our reputation. You ruined, what this show was about, what these characters were about. That's why, from an official capacity, you don't see it. You really don't. Excuse me for a second. Drinking some Coca-Cola there. But like I say, you don't really see it from this is why you don't really see it from an official capacity. But it is there. But from a fan perspective, I should say, it is there. Fans have free range. This is why when you see fans going online and sharing stories of these characters being put in these situations, like what I do recently and others have done, when you see that, when you see that, being published and everything, and you wonder how that's possible, is because basically the stories that these people write, just just like the animations that they create, and even the little web comics that they make, whether it's regular 2D drawings or or 3D drawings, SFM, or whether it's 2D animation, flash animation, or SFM 3D animation, CGI. The reason they're able to do all that is because a lot of these things that you see and read are non-canon and are basically categorized as parodies, satires. In other words, you don't take them seriously. You don't take them seriously because it's just a parody. It's a satire of how, fans like myself or others would view them, in these kind of situations. That's why you see the fandoms of all kinds going all out and doing these adult animations. Putting these characters in these scenarios of like, whoa, Tails and Sally are getting it on big time, or whoa, um, Rainbow Dash and Applejack are getting it on big time. Whoa, it's like, this is why you see it happening, a lot. That's why you see a lot of the original content with anamorphic characters, like what Tublin does, you know, like Tublin does with their characters. That's why you see it, because these things are not canon. They're parodies. They are parodies. They are satires, and that's what they are. I mean, could someone like Tublin be lucky if, let's say, down the line, a studio or even a streaming service decide, mostly an all adult studio and all adult streaming service, could someone like Tublin see his characters, his product get picked up? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But the reason he's not going to see that for a bit, not saying he won't, because never say never, when it comes to any business, the reason he won't really see any, like, return in what he's doing, or any kind of interest in what he's doing, a la what Pop has seen with, Hell of a Boss, and what she's seen with Has Been Hotel, is because he's on these adult sites. He's on Newgrounds. He's on PH, if you will. He's on Wool 34. He's on these sites that people know about but don't pay that much attention to, unlike, let's say, YouTube, Dailymotion, VENMO, BitChute, you name it. But I'm not saying he won't get that opportunity soon, because he will. There's no doubt. But again, it's all about, but again, getting back to what I was saying, this is all about the fans. The fans showing their love for these characters and this franchise, and showing how far they're willing to go. Because they know from an official, official capacity, this kind of stuff would never happen, so it's up to them. And they know it's up to them, and they know it's up to them, and they know they can get away with it because of the fact that these are all categorized under parody. That's what they are. And that's why they're able to do what they can do with what they bring to the table. But yeah, but again, in closing, guys, it's just amazing that when you go to these adult sites, if you go to them, or somebody suggests you go to them, or even shares a link from them with you, it's amazing to see how far fans are willing to go, when it comes to the love for, franchises and characters. It really is. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere. What do you think about all of that? And until then, I'll talk to y'all later.